Hi, Andrea here. I hope you're doing well. In this episode, let's talk about a controversial topic. Is fruit healthy? Is fruit good for you? And the content of this talk is inspired by Dr. Stephen Gundry. I will link his podcast episode on fruit down in the description below. And of course, disclaimer as usual, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician. I'm not providing any nutritional recommendation with these videos. They're just for informational purposes only. Alright, so let's talk about fruit. They always say, oh, eat your fruit and vegetables. Like putting fruits and vegetables on the same level. Are they on the same level? So fruits are like little packages that deliver a few nutrients to us. So the micronutrients, vitamins, etc., fiber, both insoluble and soluble fiber, and sugar. And when I say sugar, I mean both glucose and fructose. And for simplicity, let's assume for a moment that the ratio between glucose and fructose in all fruits is 50-50. If you remember from previous talks, another substance that has this ratio is table sugar, also known as sucrose. And let's see some examples. I have here the FDA table with all the fruits and the calories, the micronutrients and sugar content. Example, one large apple is 25 grams of sugar. A medium banana, 20 grams of sugar. Grapes, 3/4 of a cup, 20 grams of sugar. A pear, 16 grams of sugar. 1/18 of a medium watermelon, 20 grams of sugar. So, as you can see, fruits, unlike vegetables, contain quite a lot of sugar. So let's do a quick recap of the sugar and fructose and glucose talk. I will put the link up here. Glucose is basically the sugar that is the energy currency for all living beings. And in our body in particular, it can be used by all our cells for energy, and it can be stored in our muscles, in our liver as glycogen. And then any excess, when you eat it, if it's not used or not stored as glycogen, then it gets turned into fat. Fructose, instead, cannot be metabolized in any cell of our body except our liver. And in the context of our modern diet, it basically goes straight to de novo lipogenesis. So almost all the fructose that you ingest goes into the liver and gets turned into fat. You might be thinking, oh, but fruits is like natural sugar. Natural sugar is different from sugar. Okay, let's talk about that. Sugar, glucose, fructose, those molecules are sugar. The difference between the sugar in fruit and the table sugar is that table sugar is highly refined, so we extracted the glucose and the fructose and they are crystallized in their pure form. When you eat a fruit, a whole fruit, that sugar, that same molecules of glucose and fructose are ingested together in a package with fiber and all the other micronutrients. So it's true that when you eat fruit, you are ingesting good micronutrients for you, all the vitamins and stuff, and you are also ingesting fiber. And the fiber helps with the absorption, so it will absorb less of that sugar, and the spike of blood glucose resulting from eating the fruit will be slower. But at the end, the sugar itself is the same thing. So let's talk about some evolutionary considerations about fruit. Our ancestors lived in an environment which delivered fruits in specific seasons. But in general, fruits in nature are available in the summer and early fall. And the theories, the evolutionary theories, are that That period coincides with the period before winter, when we humans needed to pack up some fat to withstand the scarcity during the winter time. So if you look at it from that perspective, you can think of fruit as a way that evolutionary we had to get fat, to survive the winter. So another thing to consider when thinking about our ancestors and fruit is the difference between the fruit that they ate and modern fruit. So what are the differences? Modern fruit has been selected, engineered, modified for size, so it's much bigger, more quantity, less fiber content, more fructose, so sweeter, and also because of the depletion of the soil, modern fruit has much less nutrients, micronutrients in it. And also because of our global environment, fruit is not seasonal anymore. You can go to the grocery store and find whatever fruit you want any time of the year, and you can eat it every day. All right, let's talk about fruit juices. And let's focus on the fruit juice that you can produce at home, knowing that whatever you buy at the store is much worse. So let's say that you buy oranges and you can eat them whole as they are, or you can use your juicer and squeeze out all the juice. So first of all, if you eat an orange whole, you will probably eat one orange. If you squeeze that thing and you want to fill a cup, then you will probably squeeze 4 oranges. So right off the bat, you are getting 4 oranges instead of 1. Also, when you squeeze the orange and you carefully remove all the pulp because you don't like it and you want the pure juice, well, you are actually removing or separating the micronutrients and the fiber from the sugar. So the juice will have all the sugar, some of the micronutrients, some of the soluble fiber, but all the good stuff you leave behind in the pulp. And then you drink that thing, and of course you like it because it's sugar. That is almost like a soft drink. So a provocative thought from Dr. Gundry, the podcast, is toss the juice and eat the pulp. And lastly, let's think about fruit in the context of our modern habits. As modern human beings, we eat all the time. From the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we go to bed, we are eating. We have 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then we snack all the time. And all those snacks and meals are full of carbohydrates of all types: refined carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, whatever. So in that context, your system is already overloaded with a lot of glucose and fructose. If you also eat fruit, guess what happens? Despite the good nutrients, despite the fiber, even if you eat the whole fruits, that fructose and glucose will participate in that context, and guess what? It will raise insulin on the glucose side, and it will go straight to the novel lipogenesis in the fructose side. So in that context, fruit participates in a way that is really not healthy. What's my take on fruit? I'll give you 2 extreme examples. One example of a healthy individual that is lean, with no fatty liver, no visceral fat, insulin sensitive, metabolically flexible, with a diet that is mostly proteins and fats and veggies, some carbs here and there. An individual like that can eat fruit, and their liver will be able to just absorb and metabolize that, no problem. On the other side of the spectrum, let's think about a person that is severely overweight or obese, fatty liver, visceral fat, high carb diet, continuous eating, insulin resistant, maybe pre-diabetic or diabetic, type 2 diabetic. Well, for that person, consumption of fruit goes on top of all of that. And no matter how good those micronutrients in the fruit are and the fiber are, that additional load of glucose and fructose is not good. And everything in between, obviously. So if you are in the middle and you are overweight and eat a lot of carbs, you understand the point. So I would say that as a general rule, if you like fruit, which you probably do because it's sweet, I would say that you might think about a few simple rules. Eat fruit in season, local, select the lowest glycemic index fruits and glycemic load fruits. Think about the whole context of your diet. So if you are on a high carb, high sugar diet, then you cannot think about, oh, I will eat fruit because it's healthy. And if you want to really summarize it in one sentence, simply consider fruit as nature's candy. All right. I hope this video was helpful. Definitely check out Dr. Gundry's podcast. I will put some other references in the description. Don't take this as a religious argument, oh, fruit is healthy or not healthy. Just look at the data and think about it in a critical way. And it all depends on the context of your diet. If you are overweight or obese, or if you have a weight problem and need help, you know what to do. Contact me, we can chat, I can give you some hints, tips and tricks, and if you need help for real, if you cannot do it alone, you can hire me as a coach. If you like this video, like it on Facebook, subscribe to my channel, share it with family and friends, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.